Glory to Jesus Christ. Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be going through how to find the one true church, how to identify that church. And so I think everybody believes that there is one true church that Jesus instituted. And this is seen through the Bible. Jesus gave a church with a hierarchy of presbyters and bishops. So now that we see that there is a church, in our modern day, how do we find that church? And the answer lies in the ancient words of the Nicene Creed, which every Christian holds. The 4 words that we can use to help find this church is the one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church. And these aren't just poetic verses, they're a divine blueprint to help us find the church that Jesus established. So for background, the Nicene Creed was first introduced in around 325 AD in the Council of Nicaea. And it was later finalized in the Council of Constantinople in 381 AD. The 4 pillars are blueprints to find this church, so let's go through them. The first one, it's one. This means that the church is one or united in matters of doctrine, governance, and worship. The church is one because God is one. As St. Paul writes in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 4 to 5, there is one body and one spirit, one Lord, one faith, one baptism. The Catholic Church maintains this unity through the Pope, the successor of Peter, and the bishops in communion with him. So if a church teaches contradictory doctrine or lacks visible unity, it can't fully reflect the mark of the one. So now that we got that first one out of the way, the second one, it's holy. Jesus' church must be holy. It doesn't mean that the people within the church are holy, like the clergy or the laity. The church is holy because the founder is holy. Now, what does holy mean? It means to have perfect moral integrity, purity, and to be free from sin. And I think the one guy we all agree with was free from sin was Jesus. In Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25 to 27, Paul says, Christ loved the church, that he might sanctify her. The church is holy because it possesses the means to sanctification, like the sacraments, scripture, and the moral teachings that lead us to holiness. So holiness isn't about flawless people, it's about a church that helps sinners become saints. So now the third pillar, Catholic. Catholic is a Greek term that means universal. So the church instituted by Christ is universal because it teaches the fullness of truth and is present throughout the whole world. St. Ignatius of Antioch wrote in the 2nd century, wherever Jesus Christ is, there is a Catholic Church. So the church spans every continent, every tradition, and every age. So this means that no matter where you are, whether it's a time, a country, wherever, it's going to be the exact same everywhere you go. Now we go on to the last pillar, apostolic. The church Jesus instituted is apostolic because it's built on the foundation of the apostles. 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 2 states, and the things you have heard me say in the presence of many witnesses entrust to faithful people who will also be qualified to teach others. This is apostolic succession. It's the unbroken line from the apostles to today's bishops through the laying on of hands. If the church was founded centuries later by Pastor Bob, it cannot be the church Jesus instituted because he has no apostolic succession. For example, let's try applying all of these pillars to the Orthodox Church. So let's start with holy. The Orthodox Church is holy because it has the unbroken chain that leads back to Jesus. And the Orthodox Church used to be part of the Catholic Church. That's just history. So from that, we see that their founder was also Jesus. Now we can go into Catholic. Was the Orthodox Church universal? And the answer to that is no. Why? Because now they're starting to differ on some teachings. For example, whether or not to baptize new converts coming in from different denominations, such as Protestantism. So with that difference in belief, they're now not universal. Now we can go into apostolic. The Orthodox Church is apostolic. Why? Because their bishops have an unbroken line of apostolic succession, the laying on of hands, that leads all the way back to Jesus and Peter. So now is the Orthodox Church one? No. Why? Because they're not united in doctrine, as we saw with the baptism thing. and they're not united in leadership. They have different bishops that are leaders of the different denominations, but they have no central leader figure that is keeping them all in communion. So based off the 4 pillars, the Orthodox Church isn't the true church that Jesus established because they only fulfilled 2 of the 4 pillars. And the 4 marks, they're like a spiritual GPS. When we look for the church that is one in doctrine, holy in mission, Catholic in scope, and apostolic in origin, we find the Catholic Church. And the Catechism says, the church is one because of her source, holy because of her founder, Catholic because she is universal, apostolic because she is built on the apostles. So follow these 4 marks and you will find the Catholic Church. But that's what I got from my findings. What do you guys think? Make sure you leave that down in the comments and subscribe, like the video to support me and support whoever else is following in their journey of faith. God bless.